You gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
Okay, let's start seated. Let's bring our hands into Lotus Mudra, Padma Mudra, bringing the heels of the hands together, and then the thumb and the little finger are linked, and the other three fingers are outstretched. But what you'll tend to find is that those fingers become tired and they kind of just close in a little bit. So just be aware that you're not taking any tension or they're back, Claire, they're back. They're behind you. Any tension into the fingers there. Relax the shoulders and bring the thumbs into the heart space there, just underneath the sternum. And you feel this kind of funnel coming up through the Padma Mudra, the Lotus Mudra, you know, this funnel of heart energy upwards into the head. And this is our last practice of our theme for connection. And this is really bringing everything together that we have done for the last month in about reconnection, connection, head to heart, heart to earth, and also earth to head as well. All of those type of connections, but also not just connection to ourselves, but connection to others. And to be loved, we must give love. We have the opportunity to send love to others every day. We can send love in word, thoughts, and actions. We can give love without expectation. And we can send love to the people that we pass on the street. And loving when it's hard to love just as much as you love when it's easy. Create a spirit of love every day. And notice how your life transforms. So asking yourself the question, how will I love today? Maybe it's sharing love to animals, people, family, strangers, people we've never even met. Be connected universally to one another here today, even though we are apart. Practicing yoga, meditation, this like-minded connection. We all come to the mat for our own reasons, but we do all leave feeling complete, connected, and together. Let's begin our practice today with 3 Oms. Taking a nice deep breath in to prepare. Om. Breathe in. Om. Breathe in. Om. Releasing the mudra down to the knees, taking a moment to just feel that release of the connection of the hands. Maybe you still feel the sense of touch in the thumbs, the little fingers and the heels of the hands. Prolonging that connection. Wiggling fingers, moving into thumbs, moving into wrists. Rotating, giving a little shake out, maybe clenching into the fists. We did this through our month to get our wrists warm. So just really work into the hands a little bit more here. Good. And then circle the shoulders. Start to feel connected in towards your body, noticing how you feel this morning. Lifting up one arm, sweeping it up and over. Nice side stretch there. Again, nothing's forced. And sweep up the other side. Nice side stretch over. Start to feel connected in towards the body. Nice gentle twist. Rotating through the spine, one way and the other. Then gently dropping head down in towards your lap, down towards the floor, softening through the head, the neck, the shoulders. Really finding that sense of release, of gravity. And then nice and slowly roll up through the spine. Hands might stay at the knees and you lift up in towards that little back bend. We're lengthening from the sternum all the way, opening to the throat, relaxing the facial expression as you gaze up. And bring yourself center, lift the knees together and give yourself a big hug today. Always remembering to give yourself love when you come to the mat and then taking that love away with you, sharing it with others. And nice and slowly roll up. Let's come to tabletop. Placing hands down, starting to feel connected into the hands, the fingers, the earth. Making sure that the feet are pressing down in towards the mat. The legs are just as active as the upper body. We're lengthening through the spine here, lengthening through the crown of the head, and then gently we release the belly, release into the lower back, open the chest, pushing away from the mat into your cow. Exhaling, rounding each and every vertebra. Really start to feel the connection of the breath into movement. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Noticing every part of the body, fingertips, wrists, elbows, shoulders, chest, neck, head, upper back, middle back, lower back, hips, legs, knees, shins, ankles, feet, toes. Once you next come into your cat pose, keep the round of the spine, pushing away from the mat, dropping chin in towards the chest, and then start to pull the hips back. Really keep the space between the belly and the thighs here, lengthening the spine as you drop back into child's pose. When you start to feel the buttocks coming down towards the heels, lift up just a little bit more. Give space between the belly and the thighs. Reach the fingertips forward. Maybe the palms come down. Maybe the head comes to the mat or a block. Breathe in deep. Exhale to the earth. Start to feel connected to the ground, connected to your mat, that sacred rectangular space. And here, with your third eye, your Ajna chakra connected into the ground, bring that head to heart, heart to earth connection, maybe inviting an intention for your practice. And then lifting up, back up into tabletop. We're going to reach our right leg back behind us. Press into the toe beds there. Start to press back through the heel. So you're just going to rock forwards and backwards over the toes. So you see I can release onto the top of the foot, and then I can roll over the toes and push back through the heel. So these are really nice, slow and gradual, just working into the toe joints, flexing into the ankle. Good. So we're bringing the shoulders somewhat over the wrists, just a little bit. Remember, push away from the mat. Keep strong through all fingers. When you come back into neutral, start to lift the heel, lifting the leg up, pressing into the left, right palms and the left shin. Reach that leg away. Now bend into the knee and bring the heel in towards the buttock and extend. Good, nice and slow and controlled. We're keeping that right thigh parallel to the mat. The knee is not dropping. And then bring it in and pulse it up. Good. Pulse with the sole of the foot. Think about the foot going up towards the sky. Then we open out the hip and the knee. So we're kind of bringing the heel in towards our buttock. Maybe then you start to lift the left arm and it sweeps back, maybe catching the foot. Open up the heart space here into this tiger. Need some core work there. Good, nice and slowly. Release. And just come off the wrists. Come back, circle. Good. Give them a shake. Give them a little clench and stretch. Left side. Pressing into the toe beds, lifting up through the abdominals. Start to rock forward, rolling over the toes. Oh, my toes are definitely not as mobile as my right foot. So noticing all of those toes. Seeing if you can roll over each tiny little bone and joint of the toes. And then next time we start lifting the heel, leg extends away, pushing down through right and left palms, right shin. And then pulling that heel in, trying to keep the thigh where it is. We're simply bending and extending from the knee. Our hip is not open here. It's like a warrior three position. And then when it comes in, we pulse it up. 90-degree bend at the back of the knee. Still trying not to open up that hip. That's tricky for me. That's a feeling that's tricky. Now open the knee out, bringing the heel towards the buttock. Push into your left palm, right leg, reaching right arm back, maybe catching the foot, pushing the foot into the hand, lifting the heart, pushing away from the earth. And slowly release, hands come down, and let's tuck those toes, come back into a toe squat from there. Bring the hands to the knees if you need to, staying forward. More weight that comes back to the heels, the deeper that toe squat's going to feel, but really try and get those toes right underneath the body. Good, sitting tall. Already warm after that core work. And gently come off. So hands come down, release to the tops of the feet, press into the tops of the feet here, lift the knees nice and gently. We're scooping the belly up around towards the lower back. Rounding through the shoulders, pressing into the tops of the feet, and then release. And let's bring ourselves into heart pose from here, reaching the fingertips forward, melting the chest. Maybe the chin or the forehead comes to the mat. Keeping those hips nicely above the knees. A deep exhale. Feel the heaviness through the chest. We're going to come forward onto the forearms. You can go straight into your forearm plank if you like, or keeping the knees down. Lowering the legs, the hips, releasing to the tops of the feet, coming straight up into Sphinx pose, maybe moving those elbows forward if you need to. We're opening across the chest, really grounding through pubic bone and hip bones. Nice. Nice and slowly we widen the elbows and we roll down all the way into prone, bringing the head to the back of the hands and sway out through the hips. Bringing the hands down, pressing back through tabletop, back through child's pose, rolling up through the spine, come all the way to a high kneel, bring the hands to the base of the spine, pull yourself gently into a little camel pose. Keep the shoulders away from the ears here, pushing pelvis forward, pulling those elbows together. Nice and slowly we come back, hands come down, using blocks if you need to. Right leg comes forward for lizard. Dropping into the hips, taking a moment to settle there, starting to get into the legs. Maybe you come down onto the forearms. Maybe that's not today. Maybe you come down onto the blocks. We're trying to level off our left and right shoulder. So maybe you feel that the right shoulder doesn't want to come down as much as the left. Maybe you feel that your left hip is dropping more than the right. We want to keep, again, the pelvis nice and stable. And if everything's kind of being skew-iff to the left, bring yourself back up onto the hands. So that's where I'm going to stay today, because I'm already feeling the tightness there, and we just take time to get to places. Good. If you are on your hands, you can move your hand to the top left corner. If you're on your forearms, you can stay nice and low. We're going to move into a nice little twist from here. So reaching the arms back and then maybe taking that back foot. Now, if you're on your forearms, that's much harder than on your, I can't even reach my foot there. So now it's easier when you're on your hands than on your forearms. So you take that option, what you need. Monkey twist and release. And here we lift the back leg into a nice high lizard, coming up onto the hands if you were on your forearms. And then that right leg sweeps all the way back around up into three-legged dog. So you start to release that right leg up, and you can give it a little hip wiggle, dropping the knees down, releasing into that right hip, right hamstring. And release the right foot down into downward facing dog, where you can pedal out. Releasing a heel at a time. Exhaling both heels, downward facing dog, getting into that posture that feels nice and good. Slow, deep breaths, connect to your breathing. And then gently dropping knees. Exhale into heart pose. One breath there, breathe in, breathe out. Come on to the forearms, maybe tucking the toes already, coming into that forearm plank. And lowering the hips, releasing to the tops of the feet, coming into Sphinx, breathing in, breathing out. Lowering yourself down. Widen the hips off there, bringing the big toes to touch. Sway it out. Hands come underneath the shoulders, press back through tabletop. Exhale through child's pose. Roll up through the spine. Come into camel. Hands come behind the base of the spine. Bring the elbows together and widen across the chest. Maybe you gaze to the sky. Try to keep pressing through the tops of each toe. You're not rolling those heels inwards. Nice and slowly bring yourself back. Hands come down. Left leg comes forward this time. Come straight into your dragon, lizard. Exhaling, dropping the hips down. Again, choosing the options that you need to here, using blocks, hands, forearms. Again, we're trying to level off the hips and the shoulders here. We're trying to bring that left shoulder down just as much as the right and trying to keep the right hip from dropping towards the mat. Good. And then again, if you're already down on your forearm, you might like to stay there and then start to reach back into that twist, maybe catching the back foot. And of course, you don't have to catch the back foot. Oh, this feels better on this side for me. So maybe it is good or more challenging on this side, but we're opening out the chest towards that left knee. Good. And then release and let the foot float down. We come back up into a high lizard as we top the back right toe, straightening out through that right leg. And then your hands are grounded and you start to lift that left leg, sweeping it all the way back into your three-legged dog. Lift it high, give it a stretch, and give it a figure of 8. Working out into the hip, do what feels good, kicking donkeys. And then that left leg comes down, exhaling into downward facing dog. Maybe you like to do a pedal again. Now feel this posture from the tips of your fingers to the toes. Slow and steady breaths. Looking forward to the hands, walking the feet all the way to the front of your mat. Exhale when you get there, take a full fold. Maybe the knees are bent. You're getting your belly and your chest all the way down over the thighs. Taking hold of the elbows, just swaying out into a forward bend. Done a few back bends there. Going to get into some rotations in a minute. Release the hands, take the heels wide and come straight into Malasana. Exhale, sink the hips down, bring the elbows in towards the knees, hands into the heart center and open the chest. Again, think about everything within the postures, connect to the entire body, not just the target areas, never forgetting toes, hands, head, facial expression. Nice and slowly the hands come down. We're lifting the hips up, heel toeing back into parallel, maybe bringing the toes together this time and the heels slightly apart, exhaling into your fold. Inhale into a half lift, lifting up the chest, long, long spine, keep the weight into the toes. And then exhale, full fold. Press into the feet, inhale. Bring yourself up to stand. Little back bend when you get there. Maybe the palms stay apart. Maybe they come together. Look to the heels of the hands, pushing the pelvis forward, and then release up and bring the hands down into the heart space, into Samasthiti as you breathe out. Taking a moment to just pause, breathe. Maybe you need a drink. Maybe you need to take a layer off before we get into a flow. Okay, so this is a bit of a combination of all of the things that we've been doing over the last month. So hands down by the side of your body. Mountain pose, Tadasana, standing nice and tall, keeping light through the toes, through the heels, but we are feeling grounded. We're lifting the arms out to the sides, all the way up. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands come down, step back right, step back left, find a high plank. Find a connecting vinyasa of choice here. Maybe that's a chaturanga up dog. Maybe it's a knees, chin, chest, cobra. Always choose the option that works for you today. Exhale back into downward facing dog. Let's take 5 breaths here. Inhale, 1. Exhale. Inhale, 2. And exhale. Inhale, 3. And exhale. Inhale, 4. And exhale. Inhale, 5. And exhale. Next inhale, lifting right leg up and back behind you. 3-legged dog. We're going to bring that knee all the way through to the elbow, planting the foot and opening the back heel out, windmilling the arms into warrior 2. So finding your warrior 2 position, start to drive that front knee forward, settling into the arm position, pulling navel into spine. From here, we're going to come into eagle arms. So we're going to cross the left arm on top, squeezing those elbows together, lifting the arms up into the center of the body. So driving that front knee forward, dropping deeper. We're going to humble warrior with eagle arms. So reaching to the top left corner of your mat, bringing the body on the inside of your right thigh. Those elbows stay away from the body. Drop the hips. Reach fingertips towards that top left corner. Good. From here, we reach them away, lengthening to come back up, but we keep the legs where they are and then come back into the center to unravel the arms and release back into warrior 2. From here, we windmill the hands down, we turn on the back foot and make it into a pyramid pose with a grounded heel. You can use blocks by the side of your front foot if you need to. Lengthening the spine here, keeping the belly lifted. Crown of the head reaches away. Exhale, roll down over that right thigh. Notice how this feels through the legs, through the glutes, the hamstrings. We're going to do a revolved triangle twist here. So hand comes down, taking right hand to the sacrum. Give it a little press. Open out to the side of your mat. And then maybe there we lift the top arm. So right arm raises. Open into that right chest, right shoulder. Ground through left leg, left foot. We release the hand, come back into pyramid, exhaling over the right leg. We're going to step forward into warrior 3. So we're already closed hips, so all we have to do is just lift our back leg. Bring the hands into the heart or out to the side, aeroplane style. Find your warrior 3 position. Balance. Hold, and then close that off into Tadasana, bringing that left leg through, exhaling, placing the foot down. Good. Let's go. Other side. Lifting up the arms, inhaling. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands come down. Step or hop it back this time, your choice. Chaturangas, up dogs, ground positions, cobras. Back to downward facing dog, 5 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Last one, inhale and exhale. This time, inhale, left leg up and back. 3-legged dog. Remember, we're not opening up that hip too much. We're internally rotating that left thigh and that left shoulder. Releasing the right heel just a little bit. And then bring that left knee all the way to your elbow to place the left foot down and right foot goes down. Windmill it up, warrior 2. Settle into the pose. Remember, the legs stay exactly where they are when we're doing that eagle and humble warrior. This time, the right arm crosses over. We fold those arms up, lift the elbows away, and then reach over to the top right corner this time, sinking the hips down, getting lower with the legs, reaching with the fingertips. Nice, really lovely. Eagle, humble warriors. Drop the hips just a little bit more. Get that body on the inside of that left thigh. Reach the arms away to bring yourself back up, trying to keep the legs where they are. Unravel the arms. Warrior 2. Turning towards your front left leg this time, squaring off the hips to the front, maybe shortening the distance for your pyramid. Using blocks, using hands, pulling that right hip gently forward. Lengthen out, exhale, fold. The right hand comes down on the inside of that left foot to take your twist here, so turning towards the left side of your mat. Hand comes to the sacrum as you give yourself a little bit of a leverage push there, and then maybe releasing the top arm, reaching up. So we're opening up that left chest, left rib cage, left armpit. The left hand comes down, and we're going to step forward into that warrior 3. So bending into the front knee if you need to give yourself a little bit of push and impetus, lifting up the right leg back behind you, just as we did when we were kneeling. In tabletop, hands come into the heart center, trying to lift the chest. Maybe the arms go out to the side, turning those toes downwards, internally rotating that right thigh. And then closing it off, bringing it back in. Ooh. To stand, placing the foot down, Samastiti. And then letting the hands come down. And taking a moment to breathe into Tadasana, just feeling the effects of that flow. Good. So let's go into our second flow. Now bringing the hands into the heart center. Inhale, the arms come out to the side of you this time, slightly different. Hands come back into the heart center. We've done this a few times this month. Inhale, the arms up. We swan dive with bent or straight legs. We ripple up this time into a half lift. And we exhale and we lower. The hands come down by the side of the right foot. by the feet, and we're going to step back with our left leg. Right leg is in front. We find a low lunge. Okay, release to the tops of the feet. Inhale the arms up. Find your pelvic position of choice, whether that's a little bit of a tilt or pushing the pubic bone forward, dropping into that nice low lunge. Good. We drop the right hand to the left thigh. Revolved lunge. What about, revolved lunge. Sorry. Okay. From here, the left hand comes down on the inside of the foot, and you sweep the right arm up into a twisted lunge, maybe lifting the back leg. Twist, twist, twist towards that right thigh. Push away back through that left heel. And then nice and slowly, the hands come down and you're in a really nice low lunge here. This is where we go into our wild things from here. So the hands come down. We're going to take this right leg all the way back and we open it up, kicking donkey. We drop the right leg down onto our left side of our mat. We inhale, lift it up into our wild thing. Stay, hold, breathe. We bring ourselves back into center, fallen triangle. So right leg comes through and under. And inhale, lift left arm. Bring the hands back into your twist and then place the foot. Find a connecting vinyasa. Back into downward facing dog. Take a moment to pause and breathe. And then looking forward, walking the feet or hopping to the front of your mat. Exhale into the fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release, press into the feet. Come up to standing. We've still got a balance to come here, which is dancer. So we bring our right leg in. And then take it back behind us for the quad stretch. And then lifting left arm, right leg. Find Natarajasana. And then bring it all back into the center. Hands into the heart. Samastiti. Take a moment to breathe. Doing great. Second side of that flow. Inhale, arms open. Exhale, they close. Inhale, they sweep down and up. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Hands come down by the side of the feet. We're going to step back right leg this time. Find your low lunge. Drop to the knee. Release to the top of the foot. Lift the arms up. And then exhale, sink. Left hand this time comes to the back thigh. We start to drive the hips forward as we reach those top fingers back. Oh, that's a beauty. The right arm comes down to the mat, and as you sweep the left arm up, you might tuck the toes, staying nice and low into that beautiful twisted lunge there. Hands come down to frame the left foot. You ground, and then you're going to sweep that left leg all the way up and back into the kicking donkey so that you can then drop it to the mat and come into your wild thing on your opposite side. Stay in your wild thing for 1 or 2 breaths at least. Reach, reach, reach it back. Keep pushing heart and hips to the sky. Bring yourself back into the center. That left knee lifts in. Slide it through and under for your fallen triangle. lifting up right arm. Bring yourself back and into the twist for your connecting vinyasa. Back into down dog. One breath there. Looking forward, stepping or hopping. Inhale into half lift. Exhale, fold. Hands come out to the side, bring yourself up. And then as you come center, this time left knee into the chest. Prepare for the balance. Sweep that left leg back into the stretch, quad stretch there. And then reaching it out and away, dancer pose. Good. Bring the knee back in. Place the foot. Exhale. Tadasana. Take a moment just to pause and breathe. Let's come down to the mat, lifting up the arms, breathing in. Little back bend here. Reaching fingertips, thumbs behind you. Maybe the palms are together. Bring yourself center. Exhale. Dive and slowly inhale into your half lift. Exhale, hands come down, step right, left, back. Lower the knees, take a child's pose. Exhale, back. Bring the hands to the heels, let the chest down over the thighs, let the head relax. Take a moment just to pause and reflect on your movement. That connection with flow and breath, mind and body. Slowly, hands come forward, roll up through the spine. Going to turn sideways onto our mat, coming straight into our frog pose. So if you are on a hard surface, you might want to just roll up the corners of your mat so you can pad out the knees a little bit more. Going to take those knees wide and opening out the toes if you can. So the shins are parallel to the tops of your mat, ideally. But if that's really deep, bring the toes together. That's it. Nice. Lovely. Exhale. Soften. Now push the hips back a little bit towards the back of the mat. That's it. You'll notice a point of resistance there. Come forward just a touch. Hold. Hopefully you're at around a 5 or a 6 level of intensity. Holding for just a few more breaths. Maybe those knees are sliding further apart from one another. Maybe the hips are lowering a little bit more to the mat. And then just gently rock forward. Bring the toes together. And then push away from the mat using your hands. And come back up into tadpole for a moment. Notice the response on the inner thighs and bring the knees together. Roll over and you can start to face the front of your mat once more. Sit in the center of your mat and just let yourself roll over your thighs. Exhale. exhale. Legs go out in front of you. Lifting up the arms. Let's come into Paschimottanasana. Seated forward fold. Reach, reach, reach high for the sky. Reach, reach, reach way past the toes. Take the peace fingers over the big toes. Give yourself that little wiggle room. Lift the chest. And exhale deeper. Pulling navel gently back into the spine. Letting the shoulders release and relax the head. Nice and gently lengthen spine. Bring yourself back up. We're going to go into a half shoelace here. So we're going to take our right leg and it crosses over our left knee. Try and squeeze those thighs together if you can. That foot is gently flexed. And again, the shin is hopefully facing the front of your mat. The underneath leg is extended. It's not pulling itself across the mat. It's in line with the hip. And we're going to exhale and fold over that thigh, pulling the left buttock down. Trying to square the chest and the shoulders off to that right leg. So dropping left shoulder down to right calf, head down to knee. I'm saving the shoelace one for reclined. So let's work with half shoelace whilst we're seated. Nice and slowly lengthen to bring yourself up. And then just simply place that foot on the outside of that thigh, open out into an opposition twist here. So away from that right thigh, first of all, maybe you like to hold underneath the arch so you can get the arm up against that right knee. Nice little rotation to the left side of your mat. And then we take a rotation to the right side. So when we come back in, we want to move that belly out of the way of that right thigh. Maybe the elbow comes across. Maybe you simply hug. Open out to the right side, ground through big right toe. Really press that right toe down. Bring yourself back into center. And this right leg, then we haven't finished quite on this side. It sweeps back around us into our half hero. So you can roll out that right calf. Now you can sit on a block, sit on a cushion, dropping through both buttocks here. And again, this is a slow process, but you might like to just to stay here or come down onto your blocks, bolster, elbows, or we're still driving that right knee downwards. Maybe you're all the way back in that half hero. And then use the hands to press yourself back up. Come back up to seated, ground through the sit bones. We still haven't quite finished. We're going to draw this left knee in this time for our heron pose. Maybe you use a strap. Try and get the hands underneath the sole of the foot or the heel, interlacing the fingers. And then keep tall, keep the thigh in towards the chest as you extend from the knee. And you might just be here, keep the chest bringing forward, or you extend, and there might be a micro bend at the back of that left knee. Great. Yes, we are going to let go of that leg and it is not going to fall. Hold it, hold it, hold it, lift it, lift it, lift it. Pull those toes to the head. Doing great. Oh, slowly lower it down and sweep the right leg back in. Good. Second Paschimottanasana. Inhale, lift the arms, reach up and over. Second time around feels so much nicer. Exhale. Get the belly free of the thighs. Pull navel in towards the spine. Relax shoulders. Let the head drop. Inhale, lengthen spine. Bring yourself back up to seated. This time we bring our left leg half shoelace across. So maybe you shuffle over to the left side of your mat if you want that left foot to be nice and cushioned. Remember that right leg. So what I mean by that isn't crossing over your central line. So the right leg is in line with your hip and this leg is, the knee is still in line with the hip there in that half shoelace. We are dropping over into a fold. Exhale, belly comes down, and you're bringing your right shoulder closer and closer and closer towards that left calf. We roll up through the spine. We place the left foot on the outside of that right leg, grounding through our foot. We take an opposition twist first of all. So turning towards the right side of our mat, taking the hand underneath the left arch. As you bring yourself back through the center line, really moving that belly out of the way of the left thigh, maybe hugging, or elbow comes across. Grounding through big left toe. All of those toes are facing towards the front of your mat. Opening out the chest to the left side. Relaxing through the facial expression, of course. Bringing yourself back into center. We take the left leg and we open it out and take it back into that half hero position. Starting to sit on blocks, cushions, roll that left calf out. Sit tall. Really dropping into the left hip as much as you can here. And again, choosing options, coming back onto bolsters, blocks, or hands, elbows. We're trying to drive down this left knee. So this is pretty much what we did in that pre-dancer balanced. Sometimes when you change the position, it feels completely different. If we did this prone, it would feel very different to a half hero. And bringing yourself up nice and gently. Come up to seated once more, really grounding through those sit bones, sitting tall, bringing the right knee in towards you this time. And again, sit tall, really try and get that thigh in as close as you can so that those hands might just have a chance of coming underneath the foot. And remember, you can be here. You do not have to extend that leg. But what I'd like to see is the chest pulling forward. So then you can start to extend from the back of the knee, lifting up the chest, lifting the gaze up and beyond those toes. Leg does not have to be straight. I'd rather see pulling the chest in towards the thigh, thigh in towards the chest. Let's prepare mentally to let go of that leg and that leg not to drop. So keep it up there. Lift the chest. Lift, lift, lift the toes. Oh, they're lifting. And slowly, with control, lower that leg down and then release your left leg. Well done. Sit tall. Wiggle yourself forward of your mat if you need to, making sure that you've got room behind you to roll down. Make yourself warm as well. Put some clothes on as we come down onto the mat. Try not to put socks on just yet because I still have a couple of poses that I need you to hold onto your feet. Rolling down. Slow and controlled, she says, without letting herself just collapse. Bring the knees in. The first time we're on our back. Gently soften the belly, the lower back. Lengthening the tailbone. Give those knees a big squeeze. Now open out the knees and rotate into the hip joint. So I'm hoping that the whole practice today has been a full body workout with some back bends, forward folds, hip openers, leg stretches, revolves. Gosh, what have I missed? Gosh, don't think anything. Hopefully not. Let us come into our shoelace pose from here. So we're crossing our right thigh over our left, trying to stack the knees on top of one another. And then we reach up. And what I do is I pull my shoulders and my head away from the mat so that I can take hold of my ankles and then pull those feet apart from one another. Try to level off the feet so the feet are at the same height. And then you might be able to pull the shoulders and the head back down. If you're really struggling to get the shoulders and the head down, use a block underneath the back of the head. We're pulling those thighs in towards the chest, knees to sternum, ankles are pulling away from one another. I'm hoping that after this last couple of weeks of doing many cow faces and shoelace poses, this posture doesn't feel as challenging as it did a month ago. Nice deep exhale, lengthen tailbone, nice flat back, grounded to the earth, pulling knees in towards you and feet further away, and gently release the hands and unravel the legs. Take the legs up to the sky. Just do that waterfall pose there, looking up at the toes. Let's go left straight away, crossing left thigh over right, and then lift the body as you pull the feet apart from one another, maybe taking hold of the toes, ankles, trying to keep the feet at the same height. So one isn't dropping down to the buttock, it's lifting just as much as the other one. And as you exhale, pull that left knee in towards the sternum, releasing shoulders and head back down if you haven't. Again, if you're taking tension into the face and the neck, put a block underneath the head. We're lengthening tailbone down, pulling knees in, pulling feet apart. Good shoelace poses here. Great. Release the tension that you might be feeling in that left outer hip by taking a deep breath out. Trying to work with the pose, not fight it. And then nice and slowly unravel the legs. Take them straight up into waterfall once more. Looking at the toes, relaxing into the head, neck, shoulders, and then pulling toes back, flexing, pointing, rotating through ankles. Give the legs a shake, feet, ankles, legs shake. Lift up the arms, give the wrists, the hands, the arms, the shoulders, full body shake. And then lower everything down. If you need to, circle in the knees, do what feels good for a couple of minutes here. Maybe it's simply shaking out the hips. Maybe you like to open out the knees into the hip joints, or maybe you like to do some windscreen wipers. But you know what? Just do what now your body knows what it needs most. Maybe you do some happy babies. That's pretty much like our frog and malasanas. So again, like flipping the posture from reclined to seated to standing to kneeling to prone, all different feelings. And then preparing yourself when you're ready to come into Shavasana, making yourself warm, of course. Feet going nice and wide of your mat and really letting those feet and ankles soften and relax. That in turn relaxes into the calves, the shins, and the thighs, letting the hips just naturally open to an external rotation, making sure the spine is spread out in the upper back, taking the arms out to the side of you, palms are face up, fingertips gently curling in. There's no tension in the hands or the wrists or the arms. Soften through the chest and the shoulders. Relax into the throat, the neck, the jaw. And soften through the facial expression around the eyes and the forehead. And now bring yourself into this present moment and visualize yourself lying here on your mat, giving yourself this much needed time of peace and stillness, this true connection into you, your body, your breath, and even your soul and spirit. You connect to yourself, which can then only build stronger relationships with others. Try to remain present for the last few minutes of your practice today in Shavasana. If you're aware of your thoughts drifting, bring them back and anchor into the physical sensations and your breathing. I'll let you know when it's time to come back around. And beginning to take a few deeper breaths as you bring your awareness back into your surroundings, onto the mat, back into the body, wiggling fingers, moving wrists, wiggling toes, moving ankles. Just checking in with how you feel before you take any bigger movements, taking time to awaken the mind and body from relaxation in Shavasana after practice. And you can stretch and draw the knees in when you're ready. Rolling, massaging out through the spine, and take time to roll over to one side as you return up to a comfortable seat, returning to Lotus Mudra, Padma Mudra. Heels of the hands come together. This funneling of energy from our heart to our head, this connection. And just finding a nice pace and rhythm of breath as you prepare yourself to go back into your day, into your weekend. And how has the practice evolved for you? What do you know that you can take away from the mat into your daily life? Reminding yourself about love for yourself and that connection and sharing love with others. And always thanking yourself, your body, your breath for your practice. And I thank you today. Namaste.